Good morning guys, James here from Sunseeker Southampton. We are down at the Sunseeker Showcase today to check out boat 508. This is a stock Sunseeker 88 yacht that is on display here this week at the Sunseeker Showcase in Poole, and she's just behind me here in the water. We have covered a couple of these on the channel over the last few months as they've come through. This particular one is available now for the 2022 season, and she's absolutely loaded up with spec. Really nice boat, very cool interior. Can't wait to show you around her today. Just having a quick scan around the outside here. As you can see, finished in the classic Sunseeker rail white with that black boot top stripe, and this particular one also with that lovely painted hard top and superstructure over the wheelhouse, really lowering the profile. Just come around the back here so you can appreciate the extend system on the platform here. Currently got it configured up into the cockpit. So this does a multitude of different things. It's currently set up with the seat obviously up into the cockpit, we'll see in a sec. It can be dropped down so that the seat then sits here horizontal on the platform. So really cool place to chill out if you've got friends and family in the water around you. And then it's also got, as you can see there, the sort of beach club area with a little seat. There's some towel storage, there's a shower built in the underside, speakers, lights, etc. Very cool part of the boat. Something we've introduced on a couple of models now on the 90 Ocean as well. Works really well, and I think all bar one of these 88 yachts thus far have been built with it fitted on the back. So just walking down the pontoon here, so you can kind of take in these vast glass windows right from the bow here, running all the way back down the hull. You can see that lovely angular shape. Very aggressive looking boat on the water, but really majestic. Very cool to drive these. It'll get up and do 28 knots when you want it to with the MTU 1950 horsepower V12 engines, but very happy at slow displacement speed around the 10 to 12 knot mark. She's got a range of about 1300 nautical miles. Trailing pump system on board as well to allow you to run slow speed theoretically on one engine. Just come back round here and we'll get on board to start the tour. There's a crew space in the back here, so we'll do that when we finish off at the end of the tour. Have to wait to see that, and also the machinery space. But you can see obviously dual access from both sides of the platform. Space on the back here for up to around 5 meters at a push. I have done one with a 520 Williams, but upgrade then needed on the platform mechanism to take the extra weight. And we come on up here to the cockpit. So lots and lots of little revisions over the very successful 86 yacht that we built before. Around 60 hulls produced on that line. Very good model for us, working throughout the different markets that we sell into across the world. So the exterior surfaces here. So we've done away with the balcony that we once upon a time had here on the starboard side, instead of which we've got these lovely glass bulwarks that we've just seen. Maintained the sliding patio door here through into the deck saloon inside. You can see these lovely glass windows, sun's reflecting off those as we walk down the side here. This is a side door through to where the bridge deck is here, which is just in through the window. We'll have a check out in a bit. Notice how deep and real little ship type feel you get from these lovely, really sturdy bulwarks. And we come up forward here onto the bow where we've got a sunbed, centre line here, and the seating behind. So we've got lifting backrests on these aft end of the cushions. Lovely soft fabric choices, and we've got external canvas pack to protect those when not in use. Of course, teak side decks here. The spec is literally loaded with pretty much anything you can possibly put on one of these. It's a very nice boat. And there's a lot of little tweaks from the earlier boats that we built that we'll get to see in a sec as we walk around and discover more about her. We've got big Sonos systems, so there's Sonant speakers running throughout the exterior and interior zones. You see this lovely black painted structure. So here on the port side deck, we've got a door taking you through into the galley itself. No sliding patio door on this side, as it's deemed not required, but you do get the benefit of these lovely floor to ceiling glass windows. Just spin it around, you can just see how big the glasses, massive engine intakes down here, feeding those hungry MTU engines. Really is awesome to see this up and going. Sequential turbo system, very, very effortless out of the hole, so to speak. Little practical touches in the back, so we've got a third station control here with the throttles and thrusters, battery switches below there, big stern docking winches. Very feasible to run one of these as an owner-operator, well within the 24-metre load line length limits. This one configured for 4 crew, but is more than happy with some training. We could get that down to perhaps a captain deckhand to assist an owner when they wish to run the boat themselves majority of the time. You can see some little detailed things like those twinkling lights in the ceilings, up as well as the overhead spots and the big Sonance speakers. And the seating configuration itself, you can see now the benefit of that extend system and how that works here for additional seating in the cockpit. So again, just like on the 90s, we've got option for some fixed seating here. We can do more formal with a table, opening leaves, or an up and down top. There's loads of different options, but you do get the benefit with this sort of sunbathing seat, and this will drop down, say, onto the bathing platform as required to give you the seating down there instead. It's a nice place to sit and take a coffee and what have you. Perhaps your more formal dining would be done inside or up on the Flybridge, where you've got a vast seating area as well. Again, finishes on this, you can see much the same as we saw out in the foredeck with the porcelain tabletops there. Boat working really nicely, flowing from zone to zone. Over there, that's a little wet bar prep area, so we've got a fridge and a little sink tucked under the cover there. So let's head on inside and see what it's all about. So big change here over the 86s. So we've got the seating. We did do a few 86s like this, but all on one side. See that lovely big sort of G-shaped seating, and then across on the starboard side, TV on the sideboard. We have just built one with the TV hidden away in a high-low box. I could retrofit that into this if you really need us to. Depends really on your own personal preferences. You can see lots of mood lighting. There's a big Weimar digital control panel system for all the lighting on the boat, which is just tucked around here. On the side, we've got massive Lumishore underwater light setup across the transom and down the sides as well on the aft quarters. Very, very homely in here. It's a great combination, in fact, the colours. So this is a silver oak satin finish, the light wood, which is also on the floors, and you've got these lovely grey inlaid carpets, and figured in with some lovely eucalyptus detailing you can see on the tabletops there, and moving forward into the galley and dinette area. Very, very modern feel in this one. You've been dressed beautifully here at the show by the premium collection team. Really, really nice ornaments. Of course, they can come on and spec all of this with you when you're provisioning your own boat. So we've got a glasses cupboard over here. That is backlit. Light's not turned on that at the moment. You can see some feature lighting up in the ceiling here over the dining table. Beautiful wood pattern there running through, and we've got a nice little stone feature in the middle there with the stainless inlay. Across on this side, you can see we've got the sideboard for the glasses and some crockery storage in the cupboards down there, and the fixed pane of glass. You can see there's actually carbon fibre support in here. It's hard to see on the camera, but lovely exposed weave on there for those of you that like and appreciate that sort of level of detail. So the big change over some of the 88s we covered before on the channel is there's no door into the crew space, sort of galley crew space in this sort of port side of the boat. So we've closed this off. Now the only sole access is in through the middle there, and we've gained the refrigerator, sort of wine bottle rack here, which was in a cupboard in the galley. So we've gained a cupboard. We've also gained all these storage cupboards. It's little touches, but it's these little things we learn as we go. It'll work for some owners, it won't work for others. Personally, I love the extra space it's given on the boat. If we come around into the galley itself here, trying to stand back to show you how the configuration is different to the earlier boats. So we don't now have a TV on the wall there, and we have this sort of walk-up bar area. There is room to put some stools on there. And if we come around here, you'll see how that return has allowed us to put additional cupboards in here, really nice deep cupboards. We've still got the full crew door out over the side, fridge, freezer down beneath, air conditioning units, and you can see things like the drawer refrigeration as well. Massive storage. Really good cruising boats these. Say set up for 8 guests, 4 crew. Very popular charter boats. We changed the stone top here, so it's a light colour, which obviously helps with heat reflection as we're underneath the windscreen here, and we do have a sort of recirculating aircon system in here to help with the hotter temperatures in sort of the Adriatic climates and what have you. Lift up storage bins. We're on EU 2-pin sockets with USBs as well, so it's very modern tech throughout. This is your crockery drawer. Dishwasher over there. This is a sort of graphite painted finish you can see on the cupboards themselves. If we come across opposite here, so generally running as a crude boat, captain's seat on its own. I can do a wider plinth in here and a second sort of co-pilot seat if you wish, but to be honest, most owners will be driving this from upstairs the majority of the time, and it's just really bad weather or night running when you be down here. And you can see everything that you could possibly require as a captain here at the helm, short of fitting a FLIR night vision camera really, which is a retrofittable option. So we've got 2 24-inch Simrad displays there, big halo pulse radar, and all the systems we see on across the Sunseeker range. So we've got, this is the CMC stabiliser panel, so they're fin stabilisers, curved vector fins, which work at anchor and also underway, and they have the advantage of being able to flip around 180 degrees and pull the boat back against the anchor, which does then stop potentially the main criticism of fins, where they can walk forward on the calmer days and unset the anchor. So it's a nice touch. You can see everything's nicely to hand, throttle and thruster, say sit high. It's a really nice bridge. You can spend a lot of time here cruising along, long distance passage making. Great viz out of the windscreen there. So behind us here we've got the day head. Nice little feature on the mirror there. Again, loads of ambient lighting, and you can see in the doors use of stainless steel and the different patterning of the wood grains to really give the boat something special and a wow factor. Doors here you can see little catch, and they actually pull together. You can see that instantly closes off that forward bridge, so if you've got guests here in the dining space, it's very private away from the noise in the kitchen, and also gives the captain somewhere private to be at night if you're running in the dark and doesn't want to be distracted by the guests on board. So let's head on down and let's see all the cabins. Configured as 4 cabins as we see this particular one. Bottom of the stairs here curve round and we come into the master. This is an absolute beautiful finish down here. I have to say the boat has a real wow factor. So we've got lovely seating here in the corner. Lots of standard and lots of upgrades in terms of the fabrics, fixtures and finishes and what have you, but the answer is always we can achieve whatever you want as a preferred finish, or if you're happy as you see the boat here, she literally does have a very unique wow factor to her. So you can see all the spec as you'd expect on one of these, with big AV and the lighting systems and what have you. Just scanning around so you can see all the different fabrics, detail finish here around the bed, knee rolls. Boat's been very kindly dressed, to say things like the ornaments and the watch winders and what have you. Around here, so running thwartships across the boat. This is to insulate the noise that would be behind here, which is the engine room. You've got a thwartships bathroom, good size shower on the end there. You can have a combi bidet if you need one. This one's just a vacuum flush electric toilet, and then you've got a his and hers sink set up. If we come back through here, you can see obviously a nice dressing space as well. There's a good size wardrobe. cupboards and what have you, and then of course here there's a little vanity station. So coming back down the corridor, we have 2 guest cabins here in the middle part of the boat. This one particular setup with the 2 sliding beds, which means this bed here can slide outboard, creating an occasional double, the little side table lifting out and going across to this side. You can see again detailed lighting in the ceiling and on the bulkheads there. Lovely big glass windows, opening window in the centre there. Again, AV systems and clever use of lighting. It's a real wow, this boat. I have to say it's very hard. Sounds very like I'm waxing lyrical about it, but it is absolutely stunning. And so many little detail changes over the hugely successful 86 yacht that we built for many years. So across here, this is the starboard side of the boat now. These 2 beds are actually fixed, and it isn't possible to make these sliding beds. Around so you can see the shower. Again, all good sizes, soaker shower in the roof and what have you. And then the VIP guest cabin forward. So you may remember on the old 86 we had a separate stairwell access down from the bridge deck, but here we do have this lovely suite feel as you come up the stairs. The cabin is almost split into 2 completely separate areas. So we've got a bathroom, as you can see, his and hers type sinks, great size shower and head and what have you. The advantage of this current configuration is this boat could actually run with 2 co-owners, if you like, with 2 almost equal status cabins. Often the VIP is not nearly as nicely finished as the master, but I have to say on this particular boat it would work quite nicely with two families, perhaps with 2 owners and abundance of kids in those midships cabins. It worked really nicely, and also for charter, to be honest, the same thing. If you're splitting the bill between 2 couples, works really well. So up in the forepeak here you can see we've obviously got this island double bed, giant AV system, and there's lots of storage and what have you throughout all the cabins. Very high level of detail. Let's come in on the fabrics here so you can get a feel for what the design team have chosen to spec her with. And then we've got a sit down dressing area as well as a wardrobe that's full of all the exterior cushions, which will later be dressed up when she's ready for her new owner. Very funky wall coverings here. It's hard to see really in the camera, but lovely sort of almost a velvet type finish on the walls. Carpet upgrade. Stone top upgrades here. So literally everything's been ticked on this one. Very much ready to go, other than a tender and some final provisionings. She's literally ready to ship with a minimal time required. Let's put the shoes back on and let's head on up to do the Flybridge. So lovely big stairs here, so very easy to come up forwards or backwards. And if we were a crude boat now, obviously straight into the back of the wet bar is a servery. And as we've seen with lots of our boats over the last couple of seasons, starting to get a lot more detail into these wet bars. So we've got backlit, stainless steel inlays, beautiful painted silver top. You can see the detail that's gone into creating these returns and fiberglass design with the glass top and the stone and what have you, and the bar stools. Very cool area to come and chill out. And here on the aft end itself, we got blank canvas really. You can do lots of things with this. So we could put a hot tub up here, we could do a crane with a jet ski, or just a couple of additional teak summit sun lounges, and then it gives you space to clear off the dance floor and what have you when it's time for parties. So we've got the fixed sunbed at the back here. This is a nice touch because it does mean you've got somewhere additional for storing blow up paddle boards and what have you. And up top, as is quite normal these days, you see lots of the kit painted in that LSA jet black, but we've left the radar scanner white. Easy to change that if you want to paint it black. Note it does invalidate your warranties, but a small price to pay if you like the look. You'll notice I'm just scanning around the back here. This is a glass balustrade with the lovely teak capping on it. Big yacht feel. Has to be a removable stainless steel section in there if you wish to run a crane up here. I'd try and discourage you from doing that, but those of you that want to carry the toys, it's the way to do it. You can see a little backlit detail around the side panels here. And across opposite, we've got this lovely big seating area. Talking earlier about whether you'd use the aft cockpit for dining. Lots of owners electing to use this really for their dining area, and the cockpit more for sort of chilling out area. And then up forward, we have the helm, and across opposite, that lovely seating area with the little sunbed. It works really nicely, that little area up there. You're well protected by the windscreen, and you can see the view from the bridge here. If I just spin the camera around, you can see exactly what I'm seeing on my eye line. There is pretty much a view there all the way from the bow down the side. You lose a little bit on the aft quarter here due to the overhang, but a couple of CCTV cameras on the wings make it very easy then to see on the display screens here. You can see the two NSS Evo Simrad screens there, and we've got the CM8 monitoring panel and all the usual navigation equipment and what have you. There's a handy little pop-up screen here which does honestly work for just deflecting a little bit of the breeze on those not so nice days, or the odd rogue wave with the spray. It's a really cool boat, I have to say. Built lots of 86s, very happy clients throughout the world, and it was really a little I suppose disconcerting as to what they might do with this one when they revised it, but I have to say they absolutely knocked it out of the park. It works really well. Up top here, this is like a blade system rather than the opening sliding section, and I will just pop that so you can see how it works. So they rotate rather than open, and that does allow you then to either crack open for a little bit of ventilation or a little bit of natural light as the sun's setting. But it works really well in the hotter climates where perhaps you don't want an opening centre section, as it's always going to live closed. It's the great compromise between the two options. As you can see again, little twinkly lights up in the ceiling and the speakers and what have you, as we've seen downstairs. This particular boat is absolutely loaded to the gunnels. So this particular one, she's £5.275 million base boat with the 1950 engines. As you see her here, she's about £6.25 million ex-tax spec'd up. And we'll just finish off now with a quick look round to the crew space. So coming down access directly off the bathing platform here, you can see we've got a small mess area. A couple of twin beds there, and there's a couple more in the cabin just round there. Going to go in there. But you can see laundry facilities. We've got a monitoring panel, AV, and a basic galley setup as well when it's not time to disturb the main area up top. And you can see again all the usual facilities you'd expect to find in a bathroom. And coming forward, one of the most wow parts of the boat, I have to say, this is somewhere to bring your mates and show them. It is absolutely beautiful in here. So these are the larger engine options, say 1950 horsepower MTU engines, 12Vs, sequential turbos, and they are absolutely fantastic. They sound absolutely awesome when you start them up. Waterline exhaust system. Definitely know when one of these is in town. You see loads of little upgrades in here, things like the air compressor. There's space on the shelf here for a water maker, which is all prepped, all the systems in, just need to fit the unit. Hot water tank there. And looking forward, we've got things like fuel conditioning systems, isolation transformers for the shore power systems, and you can see all the usual electrical systems, plants for the aircon chillers and fire suppression systems. This is the generators. One either side, one's over there outboard. These giant things in here are the exhaust system through the mixer boxes to keep the noise down. but it is really, really clinical in here, beautifully finished. This is a parasol up for the foredeck, and there's a couple of sockets in the bathing platform for this as well, just to give you a number of different places to set it up, depending on where the sun is. So there you have it. So unique really to have a chance to see one of these all dressed up like this. Last few days left at the boat show, but she will be staying here in Poole for the foreseeable until she's sold. So if you'd like to know more, so please do get in touch and we can chat through options of getting her to you for this season. Contact details as always, it's james@sunseekersouthampton.com, or mobile is +44 7747 686 587. Hope you enjoyed that as always. A really exciting boat to bring you today, and look forward to hearing from you soon.